It's the 72nd Annual National Association of Farm Broadcasting Convention in Kansas City. I'm Brian Winnikins on Real Country 1430 WRDN and online at realcountry1430.com. Thank you to Anna Basilo of Durand, the Animal Wellness Center of Buffalo Valley, Growth Energy, and also BASF for sponsoring our broadcasts, along with the National Rural Electric Cooperative Association. They're helping us with our videos at realcountry1430.com. Well, I'm with Steve Peterson, president of the Wisconsin Agricultural Tourism Association. We're going to talk about ag tourism. I had Steve as a speaker at this year's NAFB convention. And Steve, thanks for joining us. Agriculture tourism, I'll tell you what, all of the members here at NAFB that were at your presentation are like, really? Farmers get people to come to their dairy farm, pay them $300 to milk cows?
That's exactly right. Ag tourism is such a huge thing in Wisconsin, as you're well aware of. But yeah, I was amazed how many people were saying, I wonder if we have this in our state. And I said, you do. You absolutely have it, and you just have to go look for it. And Wisconsin, I think, has really taken a jump forward with ag tourism, and it's really saved the family farm. And yeah, people do pay money. We have bed and breakfasts in Wisconsin that you come to the farm, you'll pay $300-400 to stay. They get you up at 5 o'clock in the morning. You help milk cows. You go, feed the pigs, pick the eggs with the chickens, and if there's field work to be done, you do that too. And people pay for that. I grew up on a farm, and I'm like, I wanted to get paid more, but I sure would be paying somebody to put me to work.
So now that every farmer that's heard this is like, okay, how do I sign up and how do I get these people in?
Well, ag tourism is all about an experience, and it's multi-generational. It's probably the first time in the tourism industry where you're seeing multi-generations traveling together and going to a farm. You're seeing the grandpas and grandmas along with their kids and the grandkids, and in some cases great-grandkids, and they're spending hours at a time at a farm together, and you don't see that very often in the multi-generational. So it shows the diversity of a farm because they all have, on the average in Wisconsin, 11 activities that are going on a farm at a time. So you're having a lot of different things for a lot of different people, so they stay, and then of course they spend money, and everything is good.
One of the big issues that your organization is working on, you had the limited liability law passed a few years back, but there's also been now an explosion in event barns where farmers are, well, I have a parlor now, but I have this old barn. I wonder what I can do with it. Hey, why don't we have a wedding here?
Well, it started out as weddings. Those were the big things, and we were always calling them wedding barns. Well, then I was corrected and say, well, we have other things other than weddings, so now we have the politically correct event barn title. But yeah, it's really taken off. Wisconsin had 42 of them back a year ago, and a year later we've got over 200. I think the number's higher than that because some people, I think, are pretty stealth. They don't want to let people know what they have going on there because that leads to inspectors and it leads to permits and stuff like that. But we do have a problem because in a lot of cases they're too far ahead of the game, so there's not the permitting, the zoning, the proper credentials, and the state's even struggling because you don't treat a barn like you would a banquet room. And if you've got a barn that say was built in the 1900s, the last thing you should be doing is telling them, oh, you have to put in a $50,000 sprinkler system and you have to put sheetrock up, and you're taking the whole reason why you have that barn. So we're going through that. The state's been pretty willing to listen, and the department says if you give us the rules, we'll follow it. But right now, we only have the rules that are on the books now that we have to follow. And it's causing some real issues out there because people are having to pay huge amounts of money. They don't know if they get their permits, and sometimes they get it and then it's taken away. And that's not a good thing, especially when people are planning weddings at those events.
Talking with Steve Peterson, president of the Wisconsin Agriculture Tourism Association. Steve, another big thing that's all of a sudden cropped up is farmers like, let's see, I can put up a tent. I grow all the food. I think I'll go and get someone to cook all of this, and I'll invite everybody over and charge them $50. That's really kind of taken off.
Well, the farm to table is really big. People want to know that they're getting good quality food, and they want to know where their food's grown and how it's grown. And yeah, farmers have kind of taken to a whole new level where they're going and they're putting up a tent. They'll put it out in the field, and it'll have linen. It'll be a sit-down meal, and they'll do a 5-course meal with all the foods that are grown either on their farm or the neighboring farms that get together. They normally pair up with a winery, so there's different wines with each of the courses. But the cool thing is they've gone out and they talked to culinary teams at some of the 5-star restaurants and resorts across Wisconsin and into Illinois. And what they're doing is they're saying, well, how would you like to come in with your culinary team and cook this? And they've had some great success. They started out doing 1 a year, and then all of a sudden now they're up to, I got one that's doing 6. And he's getting $50 a plate. And there's nothing any really fancy other than you have the experience. But the culinary teams, he has a waiting list of culinary teams that want to come in and do this. And now he's doing gift cards for Christmas where you can buy one, of the events, or you can buy the whole series of the events, and people are buying that for Christmas gifts.
You've talked about the money, how this is something that is saving the family farm for a new revenue stream. Is this also saving or helping the family farm get their story out directly to consumers about this is what we do on the farm?
Absolutely. Education is a big part of ag tourism, and it's, from the kids that are, elementary kids and the little kids all the way up through high school. But yeah, there's an education component, so you're kind of educating the people about, here's that strawberry, but here's where it's grown, and you can pick your own strawberries. I heard from a farmer the other day that he has a weekend where people can come out and dig potatoes. And he said, you'd be amazed because a lot of people don't know that, potatoes are in the ground. And he'll say, here, put the fork in the ground, pull up the dirt and see what you get. And it's like, a big surprise to them. So you're seeing even that happening. But yeah, it's a big thing, not only the experience, but a little bit of education. But saving the family farm, I think, is huge because we're seeing two ways. Some people are having their regular farm, day-to-day operations like they always have. And then the weekends it turns into a tourist attraction. And then you have the others that buy these little farmsteads. They want to get out of the hectic world of the city. And then all of a sudden they kind of take up a hobby on the side where they have, they grow the natural foods, or they have a petting zoo, or they have llamas or emus. And that's cool too, because you're seeing the small family farm still, doing well and making some pretty good money.
Let's talk a little bit about 2016. What's in store with the organization?
Well, the big thing is we're going to continue to grow. We've seen a huge growth. We've doubled our membership 2 years in a row, which is almost unheard of. The event barn bill is a big thing on our plate. And another thing, too, is the motor coach tour industry has really reached out to the ag tourism people. And we started kind of the ground floor last year. And this year we saw some tour buses that were coming to the ag tourism destinations. Now we think in 2016, the demand has been so high that we actually created our own itinerary magazine that's going out to over 20,000 motor coach tour operators across the United States. And then we're also partnering with Farm Bureau with their Ag in the Classroom concept, where we're going to get those same magazines into all the schools, so when the kids have their field trips, they'll have itineraries that they could actually go out to a farm. So those are two big things that I think are going to be working on in 2016 that I think could really take ag tourism even up higher in Wisconsin.
Folks would like more information, Wisconsin Ag Tourism has a website?
Well, if you're a tourist, you can go to wiagtourism.com, and you can break it out by the quadrants of the state. So if you're in southwest Wisconsin, you want to see what's going on there, you can do that, and you can even break it down to even further. I want to go to a petting zoo, or I want to go to a pumpkin farm. So that's there for the tourist, and then for members and non-members to learn more about our organization, you go to Love Our Ag, that's luv-r-ag.com, and you'll get all the details of what the organization's up to. We have a lot of links with the Department of Tourism and DATCAP and UW Extension for a lot of their services and grant programs. And it's kind of a one-stop shop for our members that they can get a lot of resources at just a fingertip.
Something brand new on the farm, ag tourism. You could probably have people come out and pick rocks if you'd like.
And sell them.
and sell them as landscaping. Well, Steve, again, thanks for joining us.
Well, thanks. And it's been great being down at the NAFB convention and getting to meet so many other people from other states. And yeah, we're doing a lot of networking with the ag tourism industry.
Steve Peterson, president of the Wisconsin Agriculture Tourism Association. From the 72nd Annual National Association of Farm Broadcasting Convention, I'm Brian Winnikins.